So, in this session, we're going to see what are all the plants that are around you and how does it have an impact on our lives. So, you all know that whenever you get sick, your mother, maybe you're coughing too much, and your mom brings a cough syrup and she gives it to you. And you like the taste because it's, sweet and it's like a sickly syrup. But where does that syrup come from? Where does it have its origin? That syrup is from the extract of a plant root. And because it's coming from a medicinal plant, you can understand that all the medicines that you take, be it a paracetamol or your cough syrup or anything else your mom gives you, say you have a mouth ulcer or you have stomach pain, all these things are from plant sources. So let's take an example of how you are inside a room. Now, if there was, 100 kilometer speed wind that's blowing inside, will you be able to talk or will anyone be able to hear you? Can you move around, without being blown away by that wind? No. Similarly, assume that you've got, up to knee level water inside the room. Can you walk happily? Can you walk normally? Can you sleep on that ground? No, because you'll get suffocated. Similarly, say if it was too hot. Now, aren't we using ACs or, ventilators to make sure that the heat is also regulated inside? So these three factors are the same things that influence our body also. What are the three factors? You've got air, and then you've got your fire, and you've got your water and earth together. So these three have to be in a kind of balance so that within the body also the same balance can be maintained. But outside you saw the factors that it could be high speed wind or water that's slogged or clogged inside your room, or if there is going to be excess heat. But what about inside? We're talking about the same three factors. Now we call that as three specific terms, which is your vata, which is your air, pitta, which becomes your fire or agni, and kapha, which is your water and earth element together. So what are these influenced by inside of us? Whatever we are eating. So if you eat too many pickles, say your mom makes really amazing mango pickle and you eat rice mixed with it, then you eat dosa with it, then you eat idli with it, everything that day you go on eating that pickle. So next day morning you see that you've got mouth ulcers, you're having diarrhea, you're not able to do anything normally. So why is that? Obviously because you ate too much of something. Think. So if you had a birthday party, you went out, you had cake, and then instead of stopping with one slice of chocolate cake, you went on to eat all the flavors of cake that they gave. Or what is that going to do? The next day you're going to have stomach pain. So what do we understand from this? Whatever we're eating, that is influencing how you're behaving. So can you remain happy when your stomach is paining? Can you go about your normal activities? Can you go to your friend's house to play? No, it won't be possible to do any of those things. So what we eat has to be proper so that we can make sure that whatever you're able to do in a daily life, help your parents, go gardening, do other things, you should be able to do properly. So let's look at all the different plants that you are going to be eating on a daily basis. Today we'll start with mango. All of you know it's summer season and there are certain fruits that grow more and are found only in that season because you get the fruit only now. Otherwise, you might be drinking maza or slice. But when you get the fruit, there's no joy compared to that. So let's understand more about mango. There's a common saying in Tamil, manga madaya. Why would they use the term that is used for a fruit, which is manga, for referring to somebody who's being a dunce? So let's get into the actual aspect of it. There are three types of mangoes based on the kind of rasa or taste which it has. So the first stage is called as kevala amlam. The second is madhuramlam, and the third is pakvam or madhuram. Now, when you've got these three types, you've got to assess. The first type is basically just sour. So if you have something that's very sour, it increases the pitta in the body. Now, which is why in summer, by the mid and end of summer, you've got almost all the mango fruits ripening. And that's the state in which we are expected to eat them when they've become madhura or sweet in taste. Because at that time, they are the perfect summer fruit and act against the excess heat which is produced outside in the body and make sure that your homeostasis between something known as three doshas, which is vata, pitta, and kapha, is maintained within the body. And on a philosophical connotation, you've got, as I said, manga madaya. It means that the person who's immature or has not understood and does not know how to behave or have an interaction socially, which makes him sour. So the experience is sour. Whereas over a period of time, when you gain pakwatum or maturity, then you become sweet, just like the mango. So mango is definitely an ideal fruit for summer and should be consumed maybe at least once a day. So in India, there is another cultural aspect that we need to know about. It's called as Vriksha Puja. Now, in every household, every member of the house would take up one tree which is there in their surrounding and do puja for it on a daily basis, light incense, sit next to that tree for at least say half an hour and pray or just think, read a book or do anything in the presence of that tree. Now, why would they encourage to do such a thing? You know that all plants are the ones that give us our oxygen, the life sustaining oxygen that we need. And another interesting thing is that when you sit next to a mango tree, it specifically gives out what's known as negative ions. Now, our body has a nature to move towards an acidic medium. And that acidity within the body, not just in the stomach, but the whole body, is to be reduced. And how do we do that? By the air that we breathe in. Because when you go to a hilltop or mountain tops, what happens is that you get these negative ions in abundance. The same thing can be achieved even in the city or wherever you're living by just planting a mango sapling and being next to it, being in its presence, so that you gain the benefit of having those negative ions. The second aspect is that for any festive occasion, we use these mango leaves as decorations known as toranam. Again, the same concept is used behind that. And the third is when you're making a kalasham during a yajna, where you're invoking the presence of the deity that you're worshipping into that kalasham. Again, the mango leaf is what is used in that purpose also. Another interesting benefit is when you use the mango seed kernel for increasing hair growth. Many people may not know this, but it's a common recipe where the mango seeds are taken after you've eaten the pulp of the fruit. You dry the entire thing and then remove the kernel alone and powder it. That powder is mixed along with jaggery and a little bit of water made into a paste and applied on the scalp. And this helps with increasing your hair growth. We're going to see what is this plant which is there behind me. It is, as you can see, it's a ash gourd or pumpkin. Now, in Ayurveda, it is also known as Kushmanda. The thing about this plant, it's pretty interesting. You must have all had sambar or kasi halwa, which is made out of this. So why do we have to use Kushmanda, and why is it that the ancient sages included this ash gourd as part of our ahara or what we consume in our daily life? And in which season is it more important to have this white pumpkin? Now let's look into that. In Ayurveda, we can understand one aspect, an element, which is heat, and it's known as pittam. Now, when pittam in the body increases, you get a series of symptoms like mouth ulcers, a burning sensation, excessive thirst, or graying or whitening of hair, reduction in your memory capacity. All this could happen. So, in such conditions, as part of our daily food that we take, Kushmanda was included. Now, the interesting thing is that Kushmanda doesn't extinguish your Agni. It does not put out the Pitta. Rather, it regulates it and allows us to maintain the Agni and maintain that Pitta rather than put it out completely. Now, you should all go and definitely ask your parents how to make sambar out of Kushmanda or how is the Kasi halwa made. And that's an interesting fact to note here. So whenever Vedadhyayis used to visit a person's house, they used to be given an entire Kushmanda as Danam or charity. Now, why is that? So Kushmanda has another specific property. It is included in the list of drugs called Medhya Rasayanas. Now, Medha is that Shakti which allows you to improve your intelligence, memory quotient, and you'll be able to retain more facts as well as analyze things in a different angle. So if you know because you know that it's Medhya and Rasayana, this Kushmanda, if given to a Veda Adhyayi, it would allow the person to gain an ability to retain the shlokas from Veda, because you know that the Vedas are vast and to learn them it takes 12 years of Gurukula life. So when they used to spend such kind of time, it would increase their memory power by eating such dravyas which have Medhya Rasayana property. Now, from the Nirukti of the term, which means the etymology of that term, we need to understand that it is a fruit which has Ishat Ushna, little amount of Ushna, because most of its content is watery, as you all know. So this, though we know that it's used in various recipes in our home, and it generally grows in the summer season. So that's an interesting thing because whatever grows in nature during a particular season, it is meant to help the human being to regulate their internal atmosphere towards their outside. So as you can see, this is Moringa kai, which is also known as shigru, and the name is Moringa oleifera. The interesting thing is that it's already used in our households in various ways. So you know of the Moringa vadai, you know it's used in Korambu. You can make even sambar out of it. There's a specific different kind of sweet dish made with Moringa leaves, and the leaves are taken, dried, roasted in ghee, and then they are powdered and finally made into a laddu. Now, the thing is that Muringaka or your shigru is used in various disorders also, but the root bark is used as the medicine, the medicinal part of the plant. So, Muringaka is also used now when you look at it as a dravya or from the aspect of a medicinal plant or aushadhi, it is used for increasing your asthi dhatu, which is also known as your bone or bone tissue element. In case you have osteoporosis or any of the asthi related issues or even pain, many a time Muringaka is used as your medicine for that. It is known to increase heat in the body, pittam is increased, and it reduces vata kapham. The other two doshas are reduced. Now, Muringaka, another thing is that whenever you have what is known as a shopham or an edema is formed in any part of the body, a paste of the leaves is made, it's heated a little, and then it's applied over that part. And that will reduce that swelling like no other kind of medicine can do. So these are the interesting things that we learn about drumstick. Hey, so all of you have gone with your mom shopping, no? So did you ever take bananas from the ale? Do you think that's where the banana came from? No, no, no. Look at this. This is how the banana is on its actual source, the actual tree. And you see the leaves, then you come down, you can see this brilliant stem, and you see there are three stems together. It's like they're a family, just like your family. And so what is this? You have all used this, na? This is your best eco-friendly plate that you can ever get. Take one part of it, eat off on it, and then put it back on the same mud from which you took it, and you'll get back into that mud, nourish the same tree. So you're giving back to your source. And you see, why will we use? Okay, so this plant, na, the interesting thing, every part of it can be used. You've eaten the fruit already. And you know that in the vegetable raw form, you've eaten it as a curry also. Very yummy, na, when they make it nice and fried. And the next part is the stem. You may not have had this, but it has a superb use. They used to pluck out the stem like this. Earlier doctors, na, they used to be called Vaidyas. And when a patient, if they broke their arm like you do when you fall down, they used to take it and tie it around the hand to keep it, in place and make sure nothing happens to that part again. And we use this everywhere in all our meals. And when we do puja, they always have to have that fruit for doing nevedyam to offer to the Lord. So you see, this is the dry form of the same stem. And once they take it, after drying, they put it in water and it'll become nice and thready. So you can pull out like this thin ones, you can pull out thin strips. And they use it to make garlands. You should make your mom take you to that garland shop where they're making those garlands. Those guys are so experienced, they do it so fast. And this is what they use for that. So you saw this is one plant where every part was used. The fruit is used, the leaf is used. We saw the stem and every part of the stem when it's dry, when it's wet. However, it's always used. So like that, if each of us become useful to our parents, to our siblings, and do everything that is required, it will be such a wonderful life and it will be so happy. Everyone will be happy with you. So all of you can see this pathi around this plant. Why are we using it? So you pour the water for the plant to grow well. And earlier they used to live such a pollution-free life. They used to wash their vessels or the clothes and pour that water to whatever plant is growing in their backyard. So they used to have plants as well and make sure that the water was used fully. And you see that even if they poured mildly dirty water, the plant would still use it perfectly and give you such delicious ripe fruits. So all of us can try and become useful and not waste any of the things and make it used like a banana girl or a banana boy. So you heard that the water that we use is from your vessels or when the washed water from your clothes, right? However, now you should understand. So the plant takes up only the water. It can't take the dirt. It doesn't grow into the dirt. It takes only the water. So similarly, when someone scolds you or tells you something in an angry mode, don't take the anger, na. Just take what point they're saying, what is the actual information they're saying. And just like the banana tree is useful to everything in the world around us, you can also become like that. You also promote the same thing, become useful and become, an amazing part of this creation and help everybody. So today we saw a lot of different dravyas or fruits and certain vegetables also we saw, which are all helping us regulate our diet in a way that we remain healthy. Now, is that the only purpose? Are we only going to be eating all these things and are the plants only giving us, fruits and vegetables? Aren't there other things that they give us too? We should know about it, right? So we will see about that in tomorrow's session.